Welcome, everybody. This is Dr. Tracey Jones, and I'm here with a tremendous leadership author, Jennifer Broome. Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
And the reason we are so happy to be here is because Jennifer is about to release her second book, and it is called Lead, Don't Follow: The Human Guide to the Puppy Mind. And you that follow us a couple months ago, Jennifer released her first book with us, Mastering Canine Communication, The Quiet Cue. And this is her follow-up to this. So Mastering Canine Communication, you can go back and look at that. That is really more specialty training. But this book is for anybody that is thinking about getting a puppy or in that first year of a puppy's life. And I got to tell you something. I met Jennifer a little over a year ago. I think it was June or July of 2023. So we have been in communication. We finally got to meet in person. And about that time, you guys that know me know that I adopted the Blue Merle girls, Tanzanite and Sapphire. And it was such a blessing to have an expert like this. I'm reading this book, I'm working more on this book, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, that's why my girls are so tremendous, because I utilized all the information and inspiration and tips and tools and resources that Jennifer talks about in this book. So Jennifer, let's talk about this. And you see Jennifer on the cover with this sweet lab, and on the back is Betty Cocker, who I got to meet, just precious. So Jennifer, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you wrote this book.
Sure. Thank you again for having me. I have been a lifelong animal lover. Started as a little girl walking dogs, and went to school for wildlife biology and management, but always had that passion for dogs and decided to develop it into a full-time business. So 30 years later, here I am, an entrepreneur that never took any business classes at all in her life, a scientist and an artist. And so really just enjoyed helping people with their dogs. And I've learned a lot from the dogs. The dogs are my best mentors, my best coaches. The people constantly tell me or explain to me and demonstrate to me, I should say, what they don't know. So this book really is a compilation of my 30 years of, with the changing times, with the changes of year after year after year, what the puppies were lacking, what the people needed to hear. Mm-hmm. And it became the development of this book.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love it because you guys know I'm all about leadership and followership, two sides of the same coin. And Jennifer really dials in on this. Talk about kind of the change that you've seen over the past maybe 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
And how we look at our best friends, who we may call them our best friends, but they still need us to be the authority figure. And that's really what this is about.
They really do. Not to dive down this hole, but we do have to acknowledge the fact that things have changed a lot, particularly in the past 15 to 20 years. I would never talk back to a police officer. My school teachers could have me in tears if I had to go to the principal's office for any reason, whether he was going to congratulate me, for getting an A. My knees were shaking. There was a different level of respect for authority. And somewhere along the lines, that's been getting filtered, diluted down. And with the kids these days, and it was happening with the dogs, there was such a parallel. And there was a big movement towards all positive reinforcement, all praise. And I love dogs more than people. Like, that about me. I absolutely love my dogs, but I want a dog to be stable. Mm-hmm. And all too often, the humans create the unstable dog. Mm-hmm. And really, you're either your dog's leader or you are their follower, right? And
you're not best bud.
You're not, you can have a gorgeous relationship.
Yeah.
You can have a beautiful companionship, but no different than a boss who has employees and there's that leadership role. Mm-hmm. A parent who's the leader. What about the parents who want to be best friends with their kids, who spoil them rotten and let them drink and stuff? It doesn't always turn out that great. There has to be that element that you maintain the leadership. And it's the same thing with the dogs, because if you get your dog upset, they're not going to send you a text. They're not going to fire you. A dog animal by nature is going to growl, snarl, and bite. Not because they're a bad dog, but that's the way that dogs interact with each other, show their leadership. Mm-hmm. So if we lose leadership with dogs, a dog can actually become dangerous.
Absolutely. And Jennifer starts right from the beginning. She even talks about, basically, if you're thinking about a puppy, there's many different places. There's many different places I've gotten my dogs over the past years. So she really unpacks into them, because As we know in life, you don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to get a dog. I mean, some of us have, but the preparation starts way far before that. And the more you can look at
Sure.
the different kind of breed you're looking at, the line, what they're bred for.
Ideally, just like you might research a new car before you get a new car.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or your house, right? And you get it tested and you go through all these different things with the house. My favorite thing would be if people truly did the research into the different breeds and genetics before they get a dog. So in one sense, I wanted to make sure that with my book, I met you where you're at. So we met you, you had dogs. And, I explained to you why you shouldn't have gotten necessarily litter mates, why you don't get two puppies. But I meet you where you're at.
Right.
And then I help you move forward from there. So this book becomes a how, when, where, why to get a puppy. Should you maybe not even get a puppy? Should you go for a goldfish? What the responsibilities are that come with dog ownership? Because, I love to say, I don't love dogs. I respect dogs. Loving a dog is selfish. Respecting a dog is putting the animal first.
Yeah.
And respecting a dog means that you're going to provide it with adequate shelter, proper veterinary care, and then not only physical satiation of their energy, because I love it. People go out in the backyard with a chuck-it ball and just throw and throw and throw. Little do you know, did you properly warm your dog up, their bodies and their muscles? Do you cool them down afterwards? How much does that repetitive throw actually break down their bodies? Are you doing it for young puppies? So it's not about just taking them out and running them into the ground or doing huge amounts of exercise. You saw some of the things I did with your dogs last night, and it was all mental.
Yeah.
I looked at them, I got into their space, I communicated with them with the quiet cues of mental so that they had to think. And they stopped panting and they started licking and they put their heads down. So an important factor when you truly respect animals is be able to provide an outlet for what they were truly born and bred to do. And that's the thing. If you go to a shelter and you adopt a dog and it might be part terrier and part coonhound, you have to respect and understand that the terrier wants to dig and look for vermin, and the coonhound wants to run through the woods and go find raccoons or go find, squirrels or whatever. So no, you don't want to become a coonhound hunter, right? Or a bear hunter or a cougar hunter with your dog. Instead, what can we do to redirect that dog's intelligence, problem solving skills, and the desire for that energy output? How can we shift so that it becomes a good family companion within what we want to do of our lifestyle?
Right.
So, and there you get a dog that becomes physically and mentally satiated.
Right.
Most people don't work their dog's brains enough.
Oh,
and when you don't work your dog's brains enough, they usually take on their own job, which is not something you want. You don't want them jumping through the window chasing squirrels. You don't want them running your fence line trying to attack people. You don't want them neurotic about animals on TV. Those are all really we call it the problems that people say. The problems are really symptoms of a lack of an obedience foundation. So yeah, I'm so proud of this book because I hope, one is I want to meet people where they're at, whether they fostered a dog, they got a dog from a shelter, they got a dog from a pet store, or you really put your time and effort and you find a dog from a quality breeder. I want to meet you where you're at. And then I want to walk you through the stages from 8 weeks. So from the 2-month marker to the 4-month marker, from the 4-month marker to the 5 and 6-month marker. Interestingly enough, while my Quiet Q book came out several months ago, the Quiet Q is actually born from this book. So this was the book that I spent really all last year writing, which is almost 200 pages. And when I got to chapter 7 and started to write about leash training and off leash training, I thought, this can't be in this book. That's a book in itself. So the training aspect, which I dive even deeper into the actual obedience training, which is typically when a dog hits 6 months of age and up, that became Mastering Canine Communication, right. The Quiet Q. Right. And it just happened to come out sooner because we edited it quicker and it's a 99-page book.
Right.
But this is like my masterpiece because whether you've owned dogs your whole life, where I have clients who come to me for the first time and they have had dogs, this just recently happened, for 50 years. And they sat through my puppy seminar and I changed them. I know. They were a testimonial and I'm like, I know, And something as simple as you include in this book, Can your dog just lay down in your house and you walk all around and your dog doesn't have to follow you into the bathroom
Right.
or follow you into the kitchen? Are they leading you, constantly dominant over you, or are they constantly subservient to you?
Right.
What's your guy's name?
Goliath?
Goliath.
Yeah.
Goliath is stable and comfortable in his own skin.
For our Goliath fans,
Yeah.
I know.
I'm sorry
She's
for
like,
trying
he's the stable one. And I'm like,
he lays right there and he's comfortable in his own skin.
yes.
Whereas you get younger dogs and they become your consummate shadows.
Right.
And we find it really cute.
I know.
But the problem is that in their mind, and you've got these brilliant Aussies, which are herding dogs, in their mind, they're herding you all day long.
Mm.
And a dog, a puppy, we know is supposed to get upwards of 20 hours of sleep a day. The average dog loafs 16, 18 hours a day. Gus is sleeping right now. Your girls are sleeping. Betty Cocker is sleeping.
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't it be lovely if we were able at times to get that much sleep? When you deny a dog sleep because it becomes their job to own you, you get overly tired, cranky dogs, neurotic dogs, problem behavior dogs. So, yeah, I mean, really, there's so much about inside the mind of a dog and what their true needs are, because where society has gone today with animals, it's I have to rehabilitate what a lot of other trainers don't know. And I love this.
Yeah.
I love what I do.
Well, you should. And, she talked about sleep. I had the girls, everybody's like, oh, a tired dog is a happy dog. So I've got 2 Australian Shepherd puppies and I'm like, I got to run them hard. I'm reading her book and it says, no, 18 to 20. And I'm like, that's why dogs get stressed out. They're overstimulated. Well, I didn't realize that.
And get this, it takes a human being upwards of 18 years to grow to adult size. Yeah. And even then, look how much we change.
Right.
A dog in general, between the time they're born and 6 months, grows to almost adult size.
Right.
In 6 months.
Right.
That takes so much brain energy and just physical energy. They have to sleep. And most people over-satiate puppies, over-bother puppies, keep puppies up.
Yeah.
They call it the witching hour. My puppy has the witching hour at night. I'm like, no, your puppy is just so exhausted. They don't know what to do with themselves.
It's just spent and cranky. Yeah.
So, again, I've had the opportunity to raise hundreds upon hundreds of dogs for clients. And whether I raise them for people in my home, which I do few and far in between, but at the kennel I help raise puppies. I do puppy lessons with folks, and the puppies really speak to me. They show me what it is that they need, and truly, when I can see what their problems are, the owners are the ones that divulge how the problems happen, and it's usually lack of composure training, lack of molding that ball of clay that we talk in the book, because I created him for a couple of weeks, but then he was fine. So now he sleeps in bed with me, but I can't leave him alone. And, my dog's the greatest dog in the world, but he does growl at me over bones and he chases all the squirrels and he won't come when he's called. He pulls on the leash, but he's the greatest dog ever. And I'm like, I wouldn't feed that dog. You're not living in my household unless you're going to be a good companion that goes and lays down, comes when you're called, can go anywhere. I can put the blender on, things can go, and you are stable and secure. And I'm not going to spiral down the drain hole of feeding into your neurotic tendencies. Usually they get neurotic tendencies because they're bored and they get overreactive to stimulations because they don't have confidence. And what makes confidence in a dog? Obedience training. Think about how tough it would be for us to navigate life if we didn't know the ABCs. We didn't know how to read. We didn't know how to do numbers. Could we navigate? Could we go drive a car? Could we? Yeah, but imagine anything you posted, you couldn't read.
Right.
To me, teaching a dog foundational skills is giving them how to read, how to swim. Think about how safe it is for a human being to learn swimming skills and to save your life. I want a dog to have obedience foundational skills to help make them more bold and confident to navigate our hectic life. Because you know what? Gone are the days. I mean, I grew up, there were dogs that roamed the neighborhoods and they were awesome and they were stable and they visited people. Go to an airport these days. You want to see where people's mindsets are? They're in their phone. They're so distracted. They're so rude to each other. Dogs have to live in this society.
Yeah.
Don't we owe it to them to get on board a little bit. Where is the society and what do dogs have to navigate in our busy world? Because again, that's respecting the dog. Folks, you don't get a dog to leave it in a house all day long so that you can have your entire busy life, work, stress, and you think that you could just come home and love on and hug a dog. Because that's not what they were born and bred to do.
Well, we don't do it for each other. We would walk out of a relationship
We
like
really
that.
would.
Yeah.
That's to me, it's selfish. It's
right.
very, very selfish. So
Right.
I'm all about the dog, but then I'm helping the owner to create the best possible relationship that they can with their dog of what their dog mentally needs, genetically needs, energy output needs.
Right. Well, and when you see kids out eating with their parents and you're like, look at how good that child is. That child can come over anytime. I love it. We have a couple high schoolers that help us out, and I'm like, they're the best. That's what you want with the dog. You want a dog that is welcome, that people go, and dogs are so much a part of our society now, but you have to have a behaved dog, a stable dog, a calm dog. And this is the book. I mean, thank God Jennifer's here. For those of you who know the Wonder Twins, they're perfect, but I'm just, when you were saying that, she goes through the beginning, but she also talks at the 6-month point. If you see any of these warning flags,
red
flags or trash break, and mine is jumping up, and she has really just in 24 hours got a hold of the girls. And I would sit in there and they would just pant all the time. And I'm like, why the heck are you panting all the time? And she explained to me what this was about. And I was just like, are they happy they're with me? No, they're not happy. They're stressed because she says they thought I was high maintenance. I'm not high maintenance, but they thought I was. Poor little girls. No, I want them to just have a happy, calm life. So she's really but these are all things in the book.
And again, just think how busy and stressed we have ourselves these days.
Right.
And how in a tizzy we are.
Right.
And we talked a lot about stress in the past couple hours together. And, if dogs can smell cancer, if they can smell before someone has a diabetic attack, if they can smell a couple droplets of gasoline in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, they can feel our heart rate, they can feel our stress levels, and then they have to try to support us. I don't want my dogs to have that responsibility. Right. I want to be able to say, I'm not your problem.
Yeah.
I'm not your problem. I'm your leader. Yeah. I'm your protector. I'll tell you what to do. I will go to bat for you. I will save your life. But even a little simple thing that happened earlier, we were having coffee this morning, and both of your dogs barked. Okay. And you said, it's okay, which is a rewarding behavior. Okay. So then they came around and both Mike and Tracey pet their dogs. So I was going to talk about this later because we're going to do some little dog training. So effectively, the dogs were on alert. They heard something. Rah, 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 rah. Yeah. You said, it's okay. That's basically, good girl. Thank you for protecting mommy. Now they came around and you pet them. Well, how old are they?
They're 1 year and 4 months.
They're like an 8-year-old child.
Yeah.
So you were giving them the responsibility to take care of the boogeyman outside.
Yeah.
And then by nurturing that then it continues to put them in that role. So again, we were in the library last night. They were panting. That's part of their behavior is, I gotta take care of you. And I'm just going to continue to help you and Mike to shift to understand that those little behavioral things, what would I have done? If you bark, I say, quit it, go lie down. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't go, Fluffy, you're good. Come here now, let me love on you. Because you barked at that.
Right.
But it doesn't even occur to you. When I'm around dogs, I'm constantly feeling them, looking at them, watching everything from their eye blinks to their eye sets to their jaws. Gus, I've Gus pegged it pretty good too. And so there's things that we can talk about. But I just read the dog's emotions in the moment. And that has really helped me to navigate training because the dogs teach me. And you get to see how they interact with each other. We went for a walk last night. Your dog that I was walking went to snap at Betty Cocker. I gave a quick correction and I went, I'm your leader, cut it out. She fell right into line.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's normal. Dogs are animals. Yeah. They're going to be dogs. They're going to go roll in deer poop and eat deer poop.
Right.
They're
and
dogs.
Get irritated when somebody new shows up in their
really, and if we could watch them interact a little bit more, their stuff's worn and done.
Right. I know. That's what I love about dogs. And then I know.
There's no grudge. There's no, it's done. And then later it becomes a look.
Yeah.
And I emulate that in my dog training. And I really try to teach people that, which is what the mastering canine communication, the quiet cues about. shut up, read the dog, and speak to the dog, speak the dog's language, which is a quiet communication.
Right. And Jennifer does talk about that, the quiet touch, the quiet cue, where it's all because they don't understand our language. Okay. But she really goes into just, and of course, if you look at her website and how she trains a dog, just a look, a touch.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah. When we went to come out here for the interview, I went to walk and your dog got out of my way. Gus, we have to walk around Gus everywhere. He strategically lays right in your way. Well, he's the top dog. He's the top dog. And honestly, he might be I wouldn't put him past to bite me because he's shown me it's his top dog. Now, it's his house. I'm not going to do anything to instigate him, but he wouldn't be far away. That any type of dog in that demeanor where who do you walk around? If you owned your company and the secretary was you wouldn't be like walking around, right. Or they actually step in the hallway and get in your way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But he owns the house. I am a guest. I am respectful of that. He's an older dog, but I'm not going to poke a bear.
Right.
I am not going to poke the bear. He's a good dog.
He is.
And if I was a stranger, I wouldn't want to come in this house.
No, I know, because he'll let you know.
He'll let you know. So, again, it's reading that with an animal and knowing, a bite also doesn't happen out of the blue.
Right.
I love that. He all of a sudden bit me. No, he didn't. I had this in my podcast the other day in the Purina Masterclass interview that I could have read it for you in the neon lights a mile away because of the behaviors that they showed you triggered up to that moment of the bite. And again, the problem really usually isn't the problem. It's a lack of the foundation.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And she does take you through all of this and lets you know, hey, these are the things you're looking for. And, like I said, even back to the beginning with a 15-foot cotton leash and nail care and pet insurance. And even before when you're thinking about getting a dog, get on your vet's calendar because most vets are full up, for several months. I brought the girls home and I'm like, I couldn't get them in for like 6 weeks.
And wouldn't you want to have known the first 48 hours that you brought the girls home? Could you imagine if one of them had a heart murmur, a heart condition so bad?
Right.
You would have wanted to, nobody wants to return a new puppy, but if you just spent, $3,000 on your next prize puppy, only to find out that it's got a heart murmur.
Right.
I want to know that right up front.
Right.
So there's certainly just a wellness exam that your veterinary can do.
Yeah.
Do a fecal on them because half of puppies all have Wermus coccidia or Giardia.
Almost.
So just a lot of stuff is like save yourself to the trouble. Read the book and you just get a lot of wonderful information. That's pretty easy read.
It's an easy read, and even at the end, she has her Quiet Q challenge course. This is where you're doing mental stimulation, not just physical. And of course, the girls love that. You've seen them jumping over hay bales, but really engaging your dog in a variety of different things, not just in the house one-on-one, but really challenging them for agility, for companionship, for mental stimulation, all kinds of different things. So she takes you all around and back, and then she shows up.
Respect the dog. Put respect before love.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Leadership, true leadership is the epitome of love.
Nobody aspires to follow a loser. Don't be your dog's loser.
No way, Jose.
Don't got that right. Loser.
I love that.
Be a leader for them. They love it.
Yeah. Well, that's what tremendous leadership is all about. Not just in dealing with people and one another, but with animals and especially dogs. You guys know what a fabulous part of our lives dogs are. And so this book is coming out this week. If you're seeing this video, it's up on Amazon. It's on our Tremendous Leadership website. Jennifer's other book is going to be up there. Also her information. She has told a little bit about your location in Connecticut.
Sure. We're in northeastern Connecticut called the Quiet Corner of Connecticut. I've been on the property now for 24 years. We have 2 different kennel complex buildings on there. We specialize in animal wellness. What does that entail? We get into doing fitness training for dogs. We are working with rehabilitative work for dogs after surgeries that they may have to help with building muscle and strength. We have a drop-off program that we call Vita Plena, which is life well lived, because I don't believe in the play cares or the day cares of 50 dogs being in there with one attendant and running amok. I don't want my dogs to run amok for hours and hours. We do enrichment activities of Vita Plena, where it's ATVing exercise, treadmill exercise, socialization, very highly monitored. It's usually 1 kennel attendant that we have. It's specialists to maybe 10 dogs or less. We board dogs. We have a membership program for we take care of our dogs, our members that can get in and pre-book dates because of the holidays and peak seasons. And then we have a very robust comprehensive training program. So we do a 3-week puppy program that's only for puppies under 5 months of age, 5 months and under. And then 6 months and up, we do a leash to off leash, 6-week fully comprehensive course. So that's 6 straight weeks, 5 days a week. The dogs are with us and they're outside with us training for 6 hours a day on our course, learning muscle memory on leash and off leash training for the remote e-collar, which I'm a huge fan of. They're learning to go to bed and lie down, come to me, walk with me, and be still. And then we also do sporting dog training. My passion is training the hunting dogs. So yeah, and we also offer bunches of clinics, everything from wellness clinics to sports medicine clinics to CPR. I do multiple quiet key clinics here. I do puppy clinics. I'm available to come around and do clinics also. If people would like me to come regionally to their area, I'm going to do one in Minnesota next month for a great crowd of retriever people. So yeah, we visit our site, come visit us, private lessons, and then I also do Zoom with Broome. So if you go to our store and you buy a session on Zoom with Broome, I will do a private one-on-one coaching call. And I'll tell you what, some of the money best spent is sitting down with you and your family before you get a puppy, and I will review and go through Wikipedia and the AKC website on all the different breeds to help best match a breed that you guys are looking for your family. You know, just because a Weimaraner looks really sexy in the blue color and the light eyes, you think that it's a beautiful dog, or you see my German Shorthairs, how beautiful they are and how well trained they are, and you want one. It takes so much high level work to work dogs, high level sporting dogs of that athleticism and intelligence.
Right.
So a Zoom call with me, I'm going to meet you where you're at, and I'm going to problem solve, and I'm going to make things. I do not preach to you my opinions. I explain why so that you can make informed decisions.
Absolutely. And tell them about your girl. So how many dogs do you have right now?
I only have 5. I've got a Labrador Retriever filly. She's 6 years old. She's a master hunter and a retired field trial dog with me and my hunting companion and bed buddy and boating buddy. We've got the Pointer sisters, Gertie and Gunnel. They're German Shorthair pointers that I just achieved my AKC show championship in the ring, dancing around the ring with Gertrude. And both of them have placements in horseback field trials. So that's where I dropped them off to their field trial trainer in Maryland. And then we've got Betty Cocker, of course. She's the 1.5-year-old Cocker Spaniel puppy, Betty Cocker. And then we got Phoebe this year. And right now I'm calling her Feral Phoebe because I had such a busy summer as a dog trainer with everybody else's dogs in my books. And she's a little feral right now, but she'll be coming along soon. So yeah, we've got a beautiful, beautiful family of dogs, my husband and I. We have no children. We love to live our lives with dogs. My business is my baby.
Yeah.
And the dogs are everything to me. And my goal in life is to continue to help dogs live better lives. You know what? Trained dogs live better lives. Trained dogs get to go places. Well-behaved people want to be around well-behaved dogs. And really, I signed my book this way: trained dogs live better lives. And if we're going to own them, we owe it to them to teach them an education. They're not dumb. They're not stubborn. You call them that without training. You can't call me dumb if I can't read, if I was never taught to read. Teach your dog how to read. That's beautiful, isn't it?
It is. I love it. Well, you guys are going to get all of that and this in this book. You can connect with Jennifer, but be sure and get on our website or over on Amazon and get a copy of Lead, Don't Follow, The Human Guide to the Puppy Mind, and get ready for a relationship with your canine companion like you've never had before. And you know what? I've had many dogs, but I'm still learning new stuff. And this book has really helped me a lot. So thanks, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.